before I came onto the show, though, which, you guys might have a differing opinion. Josh Allen, right now he's fifth, all right, in the odds to win the MVP. If he can go out, have himself 4 wins, if he can go have 4 wins these next couple weeks and put up 3 or 4 touchdown performances and sneak his team into the playoffs, listen, man, that's a good argument to be the MVP because player, you take him off that team, making the playoffs. And I think if he goes out there these next 4 weeks, muscles his way in, an argument to be had. That was my only thing.
Cowboys,
Josh Allen
Chargers, Patriots, and Dolphins. I
can see why you think that.
I just don't feel like the strength of schedule is good enough. Because the Cowboys and Dolphins, but we all said that the Dolphins are kind of sliding right now. The Chargers, they don't, they just lost their QB. The Patriots, that's not going to impress nobody. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh.
He's got 25 touchdowns. He's got 25 touchdowns.
And how many interceptions?
14. But he's also got 30. He's got 3,500 yards.
Okay.
He's been throwing the ball. He's been throwing the ball this year.
He can go and finish the season with 40 touchdowns and close to 5,000 yards
without winning the division
and winning. Well, they're going to find a way. They're going to find a way to get into the playoff, I think.
If they win the division,
I got a weird feeling, man.
If they win the division, sure, I guess. But if they don't, I don't see that happening.
Let me see. Bills right now are 7-6. Dolphins are 9-4. It's really the Dolphins to lose, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
But hear me out. Okay. Based on what you said, right? What about CJ Stroud and the Texans? They got the same record. I know they're 1 game back of the division right now. I mean, if on the same word for word, bar for bar, but if we switched it from Josh Allen to CJ Stroud, do you feel like he'd have a strong case for MVP?
I think he would. I don't think they would give it to a rookie like that. But the biggest thing about Josh Allen and CJ Stroud is great passing the football. Josh Allen is great running the football as well. And if you look at the rushing yards for Josh Allen, he's the second leading rusher on the team. Okay. He's got almost 400 rushing yards. James Cook has close to 800. But he's a large part of that offense. Every time they get to third down, how many times we've seen Josh Allen on third down, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, nobody's open, he rolls out and he scrambles for 5 or 10 yards and gets the first down. Those are huge plays that nobody sees. But yeah, to your point too, I think CJ Stroud played that great last week. I think he got hurt.
Yeah, I think he might be in
game against the
protocol.
Jets. Yeah, he wasn't having that great of a game either way. I think losing Tank Dell was a big thing for them too.
I agree.
Because Tank Dell is a vertical threat. Nico Collins is good too. Nico Collins got hurt in the right at the beginning of that game too.
Oh, really?
I think even Damon Pierce got hurt too. So
Dalton Schultz hasn't been playing either.
So I mean, he didn't have any. It's safe to say he didn't really have any weapons.
The Texans right now.
He didn't really have any weapons. I mean, Yeah. The Jets have an elite defense, in my opinion. The Jets have been making it difficult for a lot of quarterbacks this year, Josh Allen included. Josh Allen lost to the Jets. So, I don't know. I mean, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Hey, for a rookie, ain't bad. 3,600 passing yards. I mean, I just feel like I say this all to say I get Josh Allen, but I feel like there are other quarterbacks that are kind of doing a little bit better under the same circumstances.
But yeah, if I were to,
I wish.
Sorry.
You go.
I was just gonna say my MVP opinion was if I had to choose right now, Purdy. But if Tyreek Hill gets over 2,000 yards, that's my vote.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm a bit biased as far as like how much credit receivers should get, but I think that's a valid like reason to like vote for. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Terry.
my thing is, if we're just gonna call, if it's gonna be given to a quarterback almost every single time, damn near every time, just call it a different award. You know, if the MVP award is the quarterback's award, let's say that. You know, but it sucks when you have guys like a Tyreek Hill who's hitting 2,000 yards in the season, and we're not. You know, I mean, he's not gonna get it because he's not a quarterback. When it's clearly, again, the game yesterday, you see Tua without Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little. It's different. It's different.
Right, because Tua's not going to be top 5 in passing yards without Tyreek. Like,
100%. Yeah,
absolutely not.
100%. And what's crazy too is I think that this will end up being, you know, Tyreek being so low in the odds right now is going to be a good thing because he's the type of guy that plays off of momentum and energy, and I think he's going to have a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder these next coming weeks, to where he's going to go off and he's going to surpass that 2,000-yard mark.
Well, I got it. Before we end for the night, I got a question for you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys saw Tom Brady talk about, you know, how football, it's not a lot of good football being played right now. I just looked at the schedule. I'm sorry, not the schedules, but I just looked at the standings for both conferences. There's a lot of teams, especially in the NFC, that are under 500. And then
AFC South or NFC South.
And then AFC, yeah, right. And then in the AFC, you have like 7 teams that are like 7-6, and then like 4 or 5 teams that are like 5-8. So my question to you guys is, do you guys feel like it's been a lot of good football being played this season?
No, I don't think so. I think I was thinking about this actually a few days ago. It's like, dude, it's so like lopsided. Like, there's so many more bad teams in the NFL than there are good.
Teams.
Yeah, a lot of bad teams. I don't know if that's a talent problem or a coaching problem or both, but yeah, I noticed that. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. I understand there's a lot of injuries of quarterbacks this year too, so that of course deters a lot of like teams' records and momentums. But it's not a great year of football. Like
6 teams in the AFC are 7-6, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 teams that are 5-8, and then the Patriots 3-10. And then on the flip side, in the NFC, there's, I mean, literally, right, like there might be a couple teams in the NFC that win a playoff spot with a losing record. For sure.
You always see that in the NFC South. NFC South, there's always 3 teams: the Bucs, Falcons, and Saints. They're always going to be like, whoever wins 10 games first is going to win the playoffs.
10 teams in the NFC South are under 500 right now.
Yeah, and to your point too, I think it's I have an opposite opinion. I think instead of everyone being worse, I think that instead of there being this gap of a great team and a bad team, I think that this gap has, you know, come up a little bit. So you don't have like, how many times do we see Mahomes with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce just blow out teams? You don't see a lot of blowouts in today's NFL.
No, that's true.
Because I think the worst teams are better now. You look at last year, some of the worst teams, like even the Texans, that's a pretty decent team now. And they got a chance they could probably make the playoffs. And the Rams are really good.
The Rams, I was just telling somebody that there's like 4 games this season where the Rams should have won the game, and just we could easily be like 6 or like, I don't know, 10-4, 10-3, 9-4, 10-3. There are a couple of games that, like the Bengals, like, oh, that was a bad loss. The Steelers, that was a bad loss. Sunday, that was a bad loss. Oh, don't get me started. But yeah, so I agree.
Tough.
That was a brutal loss, bro.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, the Rams are good. In the AFC too, I mean, even teams like the Jets, who have had Zach Wilson playing quarterback all year, which I think number one, their entire front office for benching him. I don't think it was his fault at all that they were doing bad, and it showed when they put in Tim Boyle. That was messed up, and they messed with his head and his confidence. in that too, and it was good to watch them go out and put a beat down.
Zach Wilson needs to get out of New York.
Yeah, they don't appreciate.
Don't
I mean, he's
appreciate
not.
him.
Listen, he's not the greatest quarterback ever, and he's mediocre. He's not this horrible QB they paint him to be. Like,
Absolutely not.
that team offensively has no weapons besides.
They don't have an offensive line either.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson's good. He's a great receiver, but
he's amazing.
Yeah, they can't get him the ball. They can't come up with creative ways to get him the ball.
Nathaniel Hackett's their offensive coordinator. Like, it's like people almost forgot about that. Like, Jack, I agree with you. I feel like Zach Wilson definitely has been catching a lot of the flack. He's being the scapegoat. I'm like just looking at the organization from a whole. Like, you didn't have a backup plan. You have Nathaniel Hackett as your offensive coordinator, and the man was trash last year. You know what I'm saying? Their offensive line can't protect anybody. If Aaron Rodgers wasn't hurt, he would have gotten hurt eventually sometime during the season because the offensive line is trash, in my opinion. Seriously. So
yeah, I think there's only like maybe 2 or 3 teams in the whole league, maybe 2 teams that are really like bad teams. I think the Patriots are bad. And I think the Panthers are the worst team by far. And I hate how they're talking trash on Bryce Young. Like, Bryce Young is horrible. He's in third and long in every single drive. And they have no running game. Their best receiver is a 33 or 34-year-old Adam Thielen.
And their coach was garbage.
And Frank Reich was their coach.
Yeah.
Frank Reich, who, by the way, was like, 3-5-1 before he got fired last year?
Like, the guys, that is a dumpster fire, and Bryce Young's in a tough situation there.
He is.
Where they're going to struggle for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, you also look at teams like Chargers, who now they don't have Herbert, but with Herbert, that team is a dangerous type of team, man. Like, you can't just count off Herbert. Like, that's not just a win. You don't just mark that on your schedule like, oh, that's a win. No, not all. I mean, even though they're 5-8, like, that's a great quarterback, and he's gonna put up a battle no matter what you do. The Bengals being bad this year too, but that AFC North, the Browns being 8-5 is crazy to me.
That's insane.
Yeah,
without Chubb or Deshaun.
Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's out there slinging,
throwing that thing.
Yeah, he's slinging it, man.
Flacco is throwing that thing.
No, I'm excited for what's to come in the next couple of weeks because we got so many close divisional battles that
it's going to come down. Like, a lot of teams are going to have to win out. Yeah, a lot of teams are going to have to win out for sure.
Yeah, and I think this will be one of the first years that it'll come down to like the point differential and the head-to-head matchups and stuff like that. Because usually we got a couple definitive teams where, you know, like every year you see the Chiefs or the 49ers just go and wipe everybody, and you know they got 12 to 14 wins in their first round bye. This year it's not the same. I think the level of playing or the level of competition is high on all levels, and you know, between every single team. So it makes it harder for teams to just have like gimme wins. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Well, that is going to be the end of our discussion. We'll wrap things up with that. It's been a great pleasure having you, Jack, on the show and talk football with us. It's very entertaining.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, well, that's going to be the end of that. I'm your host, Young and You. You can find me on Instagram at YUNG_N.U. And Hamilton.
Instagram, Hennessy Ham. Also, you can find me at my other Instagram, VOAW818. Thank you guys for watching, man.
Yeah, and then don't forget to tap in with our Instagram as well for End Zone Emcees, all in one word. We are going to post more clips on there as far as latest episodes, content, and updating and topics that we're going to talk about. You name it. So feel free to interact with us. End Zone Emcees, we out of here, baby. Thank you for tuning in.